CSOs are currently on consultations to inform the tax bills.
Early this month, Ministry of Finance has requested stakeholders to come up with proposals that inform the tax bills for the next financial year. And this year we noted that this process has started early. Usually it starts around October. So for us as civil society, we've been requesting government that citizens need to be part of this process. Some of them are not aware. Every Ugandan has a right to participate in this process because everyone pays taxes directly or indirectly, ideally. So for us, our call is for us to mobilize more citizens, not only civil society, because for us, we are representatives of the people. We are reaching out to our stakeholders at the sub-national level to popularize this process. Most people come out, I think, the next financial year when the tax bills have been read. So for us as the civil society fraternity, we have been requested to put on board or on table some of the proposals, of course, from those that are fair, equitable, and inclusive, but also giving evidence on what is not working. The taxes that we look at, because we know government looks at the income tax, excise duty, tax procedures act, stamp duty, basically. That's the tax policy. And the taxes that are aggressive in nature, we've seen, of course, the discussion around mobile money tax and its effects. We know government has been raising revenue, but at the end of the day, this, of course, curtails the movement of money. It's the people who are suffering, those who are at the lower end. And government put this tax in place because they wanted to close the loopholes, I think, trying to ensure that the informal sector is also contributes to some of the taxes. But there are other avenues of bringing the informal sector on board, not necessarily through the mobile money tax. OTT. Now, of course, we're talking about COVID, People have to communicate online. Business has been done online. How do we tap into that sector, ideally? Not necessarily targeting the end user, but also the companies like Amazon, the bigger players in the market. What is government doing about it? Broadly. Some businesses have been affected, and they are winners and those who are losing. Government needs to come up with policies and practice and also follow up on who is benefiting and tax them. They are not doing bracket taxation. Then, of course, the pay as you earn. You and I, of course, we know that the thresholds of pay as you earn are still low. How does government ensure that those who are meant to be paying, of course, it's the cash cow, how do we ensure that the thresholds are increased, at least to 500, 300. Government has the strategy, the domestic remuneration strategy that it came up with. It has good proposals, but how do we get it off paper? I'm just trying to see that now. I know that it was developed before COVID, but of course some of the proposals that are entailed in there can still pass and they are favorable. We are proposing that government tries to tax companies, especially those multinational companies that are making a lot of money. Besides taxing, but also ensuring that the lower income earners or the people they employ also at the end of the day have enough disposable income. But also this goes back to how much they earn, ideally. So even when they're giving tax incentives, the economic stimulus package, government needs to see that they are tracking how those who are given incentives, are they benefiting? And in case they are not benefiting, there are penalties that can be put in place. COVID has affected farmers, ideally, but it has not. Everyone feels the pinch differently. There are players in the agriculture sector, those who are making a lot of money, and they are not paying any tax on their income. Ideally, for us, we feel that government should reinstate the 1% that had been put in place, so that they contribute at least something small, because they're benefiting, they are exporting some of the products, which is good. Then, of course, I talked about the gig economy. I know there's this debate, of course, the high net worth individuals. Some of them own property, property in Uganda, and there's been a big debate on paying rental income. In fact, this financial year, I think the bill has been was presented in Parliament and it has not yet been passed. But the debate is trying to see or ensuring that those who earn income on their rentals, ideally, pay a fair share, because Tanzania is doing it, US is doing it. Why not Uganda?